friends, they used to laugh at me. Used to show them on my record something casually. Used to say it was a passion on my path to be. Then they told me that I couldn't, so I had to be. Tell me what they really think about it now. Used to hate it, but I guarantee they're proud. Had to do it just to show them that I could, yeah. Now I finally think I took it where I should, yeah. Had it jokes on you and now you're on and laughing. I did a whole lot of winning. Look, it came from a passion. I see a whole lot of knowings I could see out in public, and that may think a lot of things. Man, at least think something, now you the judge. Hey, now tell me where you ended up. Yeah. Look, I bet it was a simple job. Yeah. Look, I went and took a different route. Yeah. Look, that's why my life is different now. Back in my feelings, look, when I wasn't so gifted and I was learning to do this, and all I heard were the critics, and now I'm playing for that shit. Look, I was way out the basis, but I just needed some talent so I could wait this to greatness. Oh yeah, you ain't never think this, no, no, no. Stop me while I started, homie, whoa, whoa. Now this shit settled, just go better and better. But I'll always remember, yeah, yeah.
Welcome back to That1 Podcast. Kris Dehnert, what's happening, man?
What's up? What's up?
Yeah, glad to have you. It's a long time coming, huh?
Yeah, man. Like our schedules just keep crossing. I guess that's what happens when you're busy, man.
Yeah,
but here we are. Look at us.
Well,
look at us go.
No, but I really wanted to do it in studio, and we'll do that too. I definitely want to get in studio.
Yeah, for sure.
Different energy there, you know what I mean? And I can come down to Clearwater with Jet, our guy Jet.
Yep.
He's got an amazing studio down there. But look, man, I see this background behind you, and it looks like a bunch of baseball bats and baseballs.
Yeah.
But I don't think that they're baseball bats, are they?
No, that's what we do. I'll talk about the background because this is kind of indicative of like who I am and what I do. Every single autographed rookie card here from like Pete Rose and Rod Carew and Mariano, Chipper Jones, that's over here. And then all these are balls, mostly Hall of Famers, and everything else is autographed by somebody I've worked with, which is pretty awesome. Worked with, collabed with, golfed with, and being in the baseball space, you know, like this, I like an experiential life, man. And like this reminds me every time I sit down, every time I come up to my office, because I work from home, which again, very, as you know, very much in line with who I am and what I do, being family first and everything. But what they are is we take bat barrels and we hollow them out and we turn them into probably one of the sickest mugs on earth, in my opinion. I'm a little partial, but that's what we do.
Yeah. So are they real bats that you use?
Yeah, so what it is a bat starts as a billet and it's lathed and it's, cut into a bat. So instead of making the full bat, we just make 3 barrels out of it. So it's going to be a bat. But you don't want to use we've done some game use stuff for we got a game use bat or a bunch of them from Stan Musial. His family wanted us to convert them. We had some, somebody wanting to send us some Jeter bats. And it's like, look, once it's used in a game or it's not even a scalable model, right, as a business.
Right.
Yes, we've done it. Yes, we can do it. No, we don't do it a lot just because of that. But yeah, I mean, these were destined to be a bat, and then we got our hands on them and turned them into mugs instead.
And so the thing about the experiential thing, man, I had success in this mortgage business and real estate for 20 years, and I was living in this life that I was like, from the outside, successful, this and that, but I would come home miserable. And I'm trying to figure out, what is wrong with me? I'm doing everything I thought I was supposed to be doing. And I still had some experiences, but my job, my business was not experiential. It was boring. It's just, I don't know what, right? And I changed that at 40 some years old. I flipped the switch, and now look, podcasting, it's experiential. We go to hang out at BA in Dallas at the Ritz and hang out and just meet cool people and do amazing things together.
Yeah.
I'm doing the mansion party in October. That's going to be freaking sick. I don't know if you heard about that.
That looks awesome, dude. Yeah, I saw that yesterday.
And it's all experience. And by the way, I'm not a speaker guy. I think I told you this before. I can't sit and listen to speakers all day. It's just not me.
It's tough.
So you mentioned this word. It hit me when you said experiential kind of guy. That's me. I want to experience life with people, right?
Well,
so
golfing. We went golfing.
Yeah, golfing.
There's 16 of us just go golfing and living and being. We're one of my favorite lines. We're human beings, not human doings. We got to go be. We got to go be with people. We got to go be in experiences. We got to go be alive for a minute. And I think you take away so much more when doing that than anything else.
Yeah, 100%, man. And then not only that is who you do it with. Who are you experiencing things with, right?
Yeah.
And as a kid, I don't know about you, but when I say this all the time, we had 3 channels and public channel, right? So about 4 channels, but 3 worth watching: ABC, CBS, NBC, and PBS. And I saw these shows back in the day of What's Happening, Happy Days, the Fonz, all this, and I didn't think those people were real. Like I knew I knew the Fonz wasn't real, but I didn't know that. I just never knew I would be able to meet them or hang out with them. And then as I've gotten into this world of podcasting, all this, and then I start being around these people and see they're really just human beings, but still, it's like it's still so awesome, man. Yep. How did that all start for you? Like what kind of business were you in or job did you have that was kind of boring at first, and then you got to start this experiential thing?
You know what's wild, dude, is like I don't think any job's been boring because I'm not boring. Like I'm an absolute maniac, and I've realized
I don't care. Hey, I don't care how not boring you are. You get in the mortgage business and see how fun that is.
No, I'm not going to do that. What I will say is like I'm unhireable, and that was proven pretty quick. But man, like I was in the gym business. I did Gold's Gym for a long time, probably 6 or 7 years. We would open the clubs, and like, you know, I'm a hell of a salesman, right? Sales, promo, like that's my bag. So, you know, I would do really well with that. But I remember looking back now, it's like it was very atypical. But for me, it's like, yo, this is what I'm supposed to be. This is what I'm supposed to do. But I had like 40 or 50 employees when I was 22 that reported to me in some form or fashion, and that's not normal. You know, for any 22-year-old out there, like what, you know, they're still tying their shoes, some of them. And, but like I started there but it was fun, right? Like I realized that it was fun, but I also realized there was a lid on it. And, I remember this guy, Brian, you know, Radzak, I remember his ass, and he came into the front desk. He's like, dude, the owner's not going to give you the gym. You got to go. Like, you're not going to grow here. You've grown as big as you can go. And I was like, oh, all right. Well, and he was right. And I quit, you know, pretty shortly after that. And, so shout out Brian, you know, but yeah, so then I went into real estate, and I went into real estate, right in 2008, but I was focused on short sales. So it was actually really, really good timing. Mm-hmm. But then, man, and I just did that, and I was like, yeah, this isn't really for me. But then I got into the social media side of it. There was a new website, you know, Facebook had just come out like a couple years earlier, and there were these, you know, these offshoots of like a MySpace, but it was called realestateInvestor.com, and, you know, Twitter was coming out, like all these things. And I was able to leverage like one to many. Like I'm really good one-to-one, but I can be just as good one-to-many. And that reach really allowed me to understand social media. So we're about the same age. And I remember being like, looking back, and it's like I was born on that cusp of real world, real people, real communication, and digital. And that little window in the middle is where we came into business, you know, in our teens and 20s. And man, what a benefit that's been, because you didn't lose the old school style, but you got to leverage the new school, you know, options and the versatility of it. Yeah. And, you know, I bounced around to a couple of things. I had some really big fan pages back in the day for just everything you can imagine, like football players and Tim Tebow and Duck Dynasty and just whatever, wherever I could just collect people. And then I would find out what they want to buy, and then I would sell it to them. So I was one of the first guys out of the gates with print on demand, the POD apparel game. Yep. And we crushed, dude. Tens of millions of dollars.
Hold on. So how did you find out? How did you find out what they want when you had these fan pages? Like, what did you? No, that's what I'm saying. Well, you would put a post out and say, "Hey, what are you guys into?" Or like, how would that go?
Yeah. Well, I mean, that's how you communicate with people. You ask better questions. I mean, and as simple as that sounds, I know some people struggle with that, which is incredible to me. But yeah, so I went out and I said, hey, the duplicate and triplicate of choice. Some of my favorite sales 101 things. Like, hey, what do you like better, A or B? I like A. Okay, A. All right, what do you like better, A, B, or C? And then just ask better questions. They would tell you, and it's like, okay, then I go over here and click a few buttons and say, hey, look what I found. And you'd make $10,000 in a day. And you never touched a product. You never paid for an ad. This is back when, you know, Facebook was, you know, push and pay, right? You know, there wasn't all the ads and the ruckus going on, but yeah, like that's when I really got into the social side of it, the digital marketing and the e-com and all that.
Okay. And so were you doing videos then, or it was just a post with words?
Just post with words.
Yeah.
I mean, we did some VSL stuff back in the day, like when you had offers, you know, big ticket offers. When I did coaching or whatever, we would do the VSLs where you're editing it all together and taking out the breaths and the ums, you know, all that stuff. Yeah. But when it came to what you don't understand is like in social media, even now more than ever, is the attention span. And these guys are, the attention span of a fly. You got to hit them, and the only thing you can do that with is a static image because they're flicking, man. They're just flying down this thing. God forbid you can get their attention. They got to read something or spend a minute and a half watching a video. And I think that's why the CPAs and CPC and all that's going up like it is. Attention spans.
Yeah, 100%. And so do you think Facebook eventually, the ads and all that, the way the CP, whatever you said it was,
pick your acronym.
Cost per click, whatever it is, cost per whatever acquisition. When that's going up at a certain point, do you think it's gonna like just run its course? Because it's just not going to be worth it anymore.
I don't think anything ever really runs its course, right? I think it pivots. And I think what's going to happen is, and I mean, Zuckerberg's already been talking about it, is just complete AI integration. Because I hope most people out there are looking into AI or leveraging AI to some extent. I've used it several times today already.
Me too.
But I think what's going to happen is it's machine learning, right? It's going to be better than most people at most things. So ad creation, micro testing, micro split testing. I mean, it's an API. Like it'll be able to just launch and kill ads at will, right? And it's still making, the ad dollars. So I don't think it'll be obsolete. It'll just look different, act different.
Yeah.
But it's still the same outcome. There's people that are selling stuff to people. And until that goes away, this ain't going away.
Yeah.
It's going to get more expensive.
What was the first thing that you had success with that you could scale?
The t-shirts. I think the t-shirt. Actually, that I could scale, it was the t-shirts. The first time I had a big pop is I sold like these, like those rubber wristbands, like the Lance Armstrong ones, Be Strong, WWJD and all this. So we had a Tebow page. It had 250,000 people on it. And it was like or we did, what would Tebow do? Or I'm excited, or just something stupid that he said. I remember we sold like 60,000 rubber wristbands, dude.
Wow.
And it was like $5 flat. And then that wasn't scalable because I remember my wife, she was my girlfriend at the time. I was like, hey, we're not doing nothing all weekend. All we're doing is shipping one of these things at a time. And oh my God, never will I do that again. And that's when I realized how powerful, 3PL and logistics are. But the first thing I could scale, it was Teespring, and what I did with Teespring, because I didn't touch the product, right? Like all I had to do.
What is that?
It was a print-on-demand T-shirt company.
Oh, okay.
Back in the day. And all I had to do is have creation meetings with my team, launch the design, launch the ad, repeat. We're doing that 40, 50 times a week. All these different designs, all these different niches, just everything, just running in circles. And that was scalable. I think we did a little over $20 million in sales between our immediate pages and then our affiliate pages.
Gotcha.
Yeah, it's crazy.
And when you were doing the t-shirt stuff, was it you guys creating some t-shirts first, and selling things that you had ideas on? And then,
that was all. We just came up with the design. Up with the design, digital mock-up, send it.
What kind of stuff?
Oh, dude, the dumbest stuff you've ever seen. I mean, like some of them that went really viral, and people have probably have seen these. It was like you could back in the day on Facebook, you could target people who were born in like 1975, right? And the shirt said 1975, all original parts, and it looked like a mechanic style logo.
Yeah.
I did one where I had some country music pages. So I like country music, and Luke Bryan had a song. I'm going to sit right here on the edge of the pier, drink a beer, or whatever that song is. So you use some lyrics, and then you sub out other lyrics with imagery, and then you use it. So it's not, it kind of like skated around the, IP a little bit.
Yeah. The copyright.
But as long as it spoke to people. There's no, like, the best example I could give is there's no store out there selling duckbill platypus t-shirts, but there's about 5,000 people that just love a duckbill platypus. So because of targeting and the accuracy of the targeting on Facebook, we could put a duckbill platypus on a shirt and it says, I love duckbill platypuses and maybe 3 people. And that design, dude, make $20,000. It's just crazy. Yeah, it was literally a blank slate, and that's actually what with Dugout Mugs. Whenever this company came to me, that's all I saw here. This was just a blank slate. I could put anything here.
Yeah.
And that's what excited me with it initially. And I've learned a lot about the company over the last 8 years because we've done fairly well. But yeah, like that's what that was. It was a canvas. It was a blank canvas I could put anything on. And I knew that if we found a way to speak to somebody's passions, we're going to win.
Yeah. And how many ounces do those hold, by the way?
12
ounces. Perfect,
yeah.
Right? Perfect. Is that all the way to the top?
Yeah. It's all the way up. But I mean, we have the 9 ounce. We have a 9 ounce, like a whiskey mug. People use them for coffee. We got home plate coasters and bat slice keychains. I mean, we're just really developing. And I mean, the one I'm using right here, this is a spill proof 20 ounce tumbler.
Yeah.
They're
and
cool.
It keeps it cold or
oh
warm,
yeah,
right?
For sure.
So talk to me about the Savannah bananas and how you got involved with that.
Yeah. So Jesse Cole, he's a great dude. There's in business, you find those who you resonate with and their messaging and just what they're doing and how they're doing it. And Jesse really stood out to me. And back when they were just coming up and we were just coming up back in like 16, 17, 18, more like 17, 18. He and I did a podcast together. Like we just jumped on and just shot the shit. And we're like, yo.
Well, how did you connect with him? How did you this is an interesting thing for a lot of people don't know how to connect with people that they want to connect with. Sometimes it happens by chance. Other times it's intentional. I
think I just emailed him or reached out to him on LinkedIn or like I've the guy that wrote the movie The Sandlot. We can talk about that too, because that's sick. I met him on Twitter. I tweeted him. I'm like, yo, dude, we got to chat. And how I do it is also interesting. I'm not professional whatsoever, and I think that stands out in a world full of noise. Yeah. But so I talked to Jesse, and I was like, dude, love what you're doing. He's like, I love what you guys are doing. And you know what it was? I think when they were coming up, I sent him a mug. That's what happened. I sent him a mug with the Savannah Bananas logo on it. Right. And the idea there, and he did a whole video for me. And when he replied, he's like, dude, when we did our podcast, he's like, people always send their stuff. Look at me. He's like, you sent me my stuff. And he said that stood out in such a major way that, and if you watch him anytime now, any podcast he's doing, it's right behind him. The Dugout Mug I sent him all those years ago. And that stuck with me because then several years later, I'm big into baseball cards. I love baseball cards. And Jesse likes, he truly admires P.T. Barnum from the Barnum Bailey Circus, and Walt Disney, who we all know. Yeah. And oh yeah, it's obvious, right? Mm-hmm. But I was going through some cards one day, and I found a P.T. Barnum mint condition P.T. Barnum baseball card, right, out of this weird offset, and I was like, no way. So I immediately, and again, I'll touch on this in a second, but I thought of Jesse when I saw that card, and I said, I sleeved it up immediately, dropped it in the mail with a note, said, dude, found this, thought of you, I knew it had to be on your desk. And he ripped out a whole video just for me, thanking me and talking. It was a minute long, and he sent it to me. I think I posted on LinkedIn the other day because how he does business, I admire a great deal.
Did you even think about the value of that when you saw it?
I did. The value. Dude, there's nothing more valuable to me than relationships.
That's right.
There's nothing more valuable to me than relationships and relationship capital. So to my point, why would I think of Jesse immediately? It's because I shut up and I listen. And I think that's a huge mistake that people make. They talk with the intent to reply. Or no, they listen with the intent to reply. They're, I'm talking, and they're in their head, they're thinking about their next question rather than being right.
Yeah,
what the hell are you doing? Right. So in this case, I knew Jesse wanted to like these guys. And I knew as soon as I saw it, the first thing I thought about was him because I listened, because I cared. And I sent it like almost just a knee jerk reaction. And in turn, I got a video. I got a thank you. He's like, anytime you want to come to the game, bring your family, blah, blah, blah. Let's do it. And it's just, I don't think enough people are playing that long game, mm-hmm. And relationships are a long game, and if they're not, you're doing it wrong. You're just doing it wrong. If it's just everything in your life and every person in your life is transactional, you're losing.
I talk about this all the time, man. Look, I have a phrase, patient urgency. So when I talk about patience, part of it's the process. It's that long game. Urgency is when you get a thought, like you just had that thought, you saw the card, you're like, well, Jesse, bang. Urgency, get it, bang, execute. Because if you don't do that and you have no urgency, you're going to forget about it or you won't do it. And that's not good. So anytime you have a thought, see, I'm a big believer in God and he gives us everything we want. We got to be open to listening to it. And when it comes to you, you got to act. And so patient urgency, long game, urgent actions. And I love it.
Well, but and I did a post this morning about this on LinkedIn. That's the only platform I'm publicly active on. And it was about keeping your plate clear, right? Mm-hmm. Keeping your plate clear. Like, I don't have a Calendly link. I hate those things. I don't want anybody nobody else gets to decide what I do with an hour in my day. Right? That's me personally, to each his own.
I'm sorry I sent that to you for the podcast, buddy.
Well, that's because we texted back and forth, and that's respect. I
think our first call too was my Calendly, because like I get it. I get what you're saying. However, if you're going back and forth trying to figure out your calendar and this and that, that takes longer. So I use it, and it's been a game changer for me.
But it's not public. Like, it's not just out there. Public. It's like, hey, want to talk to me? Pick a note. And you got 14 hours a day blocked off for people bending your ear and kicking tires around.
Right.
So in this case, my whole point, and it's to your point, you have to have an open plate. You have to have a clean. You can't get what I said the other day. You can't get fed if your plate's full.
Yeah.
Right. And when these opportunities, the ones that are really meant for you, show up, you need to have, there's no distracting noise, the plate's clean, the objective's clear, and it comes by, you're like, that's mine. Right.
Oh,
I'm good. I'm good at that. I've gotten better at that since I got sick and, whatever. And that whole situation, but time is fleeting and minutes are short. And I feel like you can't get every bit of every second out of every minute, out of every hour, unless you're present. And not just rough, all in the ruckus and the noise.
Yeah, it goes to intentionality too, being clear on what you want, who you want to be around, what you want to be doing, and then setting that intention. And then you could have stuff on your calendar, but it's okay to change your mind and renegotiate with those people that are on your calendar if another opportunity comes in. I do it all the time. I have to clear I have like 5 podcasts in a day. Sometimes I have to reschedule them all because I got a speaking event that's going to be I got to go to. I got the opportunity. So 100%, man. But that only happens when you're clear and intentional. Yeah. And so that's what you're talking about.
And the hierarchy of importance, your prioritization. So in my case, I don't book anything. I don't care who it is. I don't book anything. If I got to get my kids from school, like today, my wife's working, I got to go get the kids from school. Right. I remember they asked me on a Saturday morning, I was having breakfast with my family. We go out on Saturday morning sometimes, and they're like, hey, we need you live in New York City on Fox and Friends tomorrow morning. Can you make it? I was like, and it was right before Christmas. So, I mean, dude, it's primo space and time for this and what I do. And I said, look, I have a daddy-daughter dance this afternoon. As long as I can get I'm not going to miss it. Like, that's non-negotiable. After that, if I can get a red-eye flight, I can find a place to stay, and I can get product made, I'll be there. Right. So I call my team. They're like, yo, dude, we got you. Because I don't ask a lot from a lot of people. Right. So they know when I do ask, again, I don't cover their plate up. So they know when I do, it's time to eat. They got to go.
Yeah.
Saturday, they got to go in on the day off. They got to rip some shit out. They got to get it over to my house in the next town over. So it's waiting on my front door. So when I'm done with what I'm doing, I get home, get the stuff, get a shower, get the hell out of here, red eye. A buddy of mine in New York let me just crash at his pad. I got in at like 12:30, and then the car picked me up at 7:30 in the morning, and I made it work. But like same thing. It's like the priorities. Like it was a non-negotiable. I would have legit missed it if it would have interfered with the thing I plan to do with my kids.
Yeah.
And I'm strong about that.
I agree, man. I have a 19-year-old son, man. My wife, when he has his birthday, she'll put something on social with pictures when he was a baby and all this stuff. And then she'll put some sad music behind it. And it gets me teared up, man. And I just wish that I'd known more and really took those times in more. I think I did a good job with it, but it's not enough. And so, yeah, man, I mean, it goes quick, and especially if kids, it's like, I don't know, man. I just don't want to miss anything for sure. I'm always at the games. I'll say I don't coach softball now. My daughter's on a travel softball team. I don't coach anymore, and it bothers me when I'm there, like, because I want to be out there. Yeah. But I'll sit at that practice for 3.5 hours and just watch and be involved, so she sees me. And man, I'm with you. So let's talk about that. Oh, go ahead.
Well,
go ahead.
Real quick. I had a buddy at BA. His name's Dave, and he said he was talking about quality time. He said you don't plan quality time. You plan time, and then it can become quality. right? Like you don't know. So the whole point is, again, keeping your plate clean, being there more, and then hey, you're there when it turns into quality time.
Yeah.
Right. And that really resonated with me. Because for those who don't know, 10 years ago, got sick, had a enough of a percentage scare that I wasn't walking out of a surgery room, that it shook me up pretty good. And I came out the other side that with a different perspective about a lot of things. And time is at the core of everything that I think about, talk about, and try to live every day,
What was that? What happened with that?
I just ruptured an appendix, dude. It was nothing. In the scheme of things, it was nothing.
Right.
But when you wait a week to go into the hospital, it turns into something.
Yeah.
Pretty quick.
Yeah.
And my excuses, I was busy. Dude, okay. So a week before that, I had a double knee surgery. I'm rolling around on crutches because I have both of my knees operated on from a issue from back when I was young. So I had the double knee surgery. So I had my buddy's car, Ferrari, and I could drive it with the paddle shifters because I didn't have to use my legs, right? So I'm like, all right, well, I could still go to meetings. Dude, I'm going to meetings on double crutches, on double knee surgery, fucking 4 days after I got off the operating table. Like, what's going on? And then I ruptured my appendix, and it's like, oh, I'll just take some more meds, and I have the Stanley Cup to go to tomorrow night. And it's like my priorities were just wrecked, bro.
Yeah.
And I go in and I tell the doctor, I'm like, oh, I think I'm just constipated from the pain meds for the double knee surgery. And then 3 doctors walk back in the room. They're like, you have an abscess the size of a football in your core, and not sure why your body or God decided to wall this thing off, but we got a chance to take it out. But if we nick it, you got about a 30% chance that you're not walking out of here. So you need to call who you're going to call.
Jeez. So how did that experience change the way you look at your health, and what have you been doing since then?
I don't really think it impacted how I look at my health, right? I think it impacted how I value time more than anything. If it impacted my health, it's I'd never drink again, but I drink, right? Now I've cut it back significantly. You kind of do that when you get older. It's kind of neat to see that wave happening right now. All the previous waves, everybody getting rid of the smoking, and now everybody's kind of just ditching the drinking. It's becoming more and more commonplace, which is kind of cool. Not if you sell beer mugs, though.
Well, they can put iced tea in it. That's
100%.
Or club soda or something. My last drink recently was at BA. The first night we were there, that night I think I came in on a Wednesday. And that was the last drink I had because I didn't like when I'm noticing anxiety the next day when I have one or two drinks.
We talked about that. Yeah, remember we talked about that.
So since then I have no interest. I'll go someplace and I'll get a Heineken Zero. I like those.
Yeah.
But yeah, man, and I don't know, man. It's the longest I've gone. It's I guess today or tomorrow will be a month.
That's awesome.
Yeah.
Yeah, and I get that. So I mean, I think being more present, but they walk hand in hand. So let me be a little more clear about that, because if you value minutes more, you get more minutes by treating yourself better, right?
Yeah.
So when I'm down there with the kids yesterday and we're having like a whole full-on Uno battle, right? Whoever wins 3 in a row, everybody else is doing push-ups, sit-ups, and lunges, right? Like I'm just trying to, because I the way I was raised, health wasn't a priority. It just wasn't. And it's impacted me negatively my entire life. So I'm trying to break that mold. Anger. Anger that I grew up with, I'm trying to cut that, just starting to break the molds and be more present.
Well, hold on a second. Aware. So you I point this out. I just put something in the WhatsApp group today about people's language. I've done 1,000 plus 15 mini speed networking calls, right? And I hear this way people talk, and it helped me because you use the word trying. And at my house, like my kids, we don't try, we do. I don't put up with any, and it's a standard we keep. You don't say you're going to try this. If you're doing something, you're doing it. If you're not, don't say you're trying, because that gives you an out,
Dude,
right?
Yes. I
hear it, man. The people that I talk to on these calls are super successful people, but they'll tell me, I'll ask the question, what are you working on right now that's got you excited? And where are you taking it? Well, I'm trying to do this, and we're tempted. It's hard, and they'll say all this stuff, and I'm like, no wonder you're not moving as fast as you should be moving and accomplishing what you should be accomplishing. And I call people out with it. I don't care if they get upset with me, but I just say, can I make an observation? And they say, yeah. And I'm like, listen, if you're going to do something, do it. Don't say you're going to try. Your words matter, man.
Do or don't.
You know? Yeah, man. Because at the end of the day, like, here's the other thing. Health wise, I've been working out for a while, but then I started hanging out with these biohacking, longevity, wellness, functional medicine doctors and experts, interviewing them, just being around them, and your environment matters so much. I'm picking up these different things, and I'm starting to realize, like, wait a minute, there's a lot to learn here and apply in my life so that I can be a living demonstration for others. And I think when you have the success you've had, you have the personality you have influence. To me, man, it's a duty and obligation to be a living demonstration for others.
Yeah.
You know? So
I agree.
But
I agree with that 100%.
Yeah. So,
what do they say? With great power comes great responsibility, right?
Yeah.
Spider-Man.
But then you start doing it yourself, and it doesn't feel like a bad thing, hard to do or anything. It just feels like this is the way of life, man. And this is what I tell people too, Kris. You cannot, and you're the same type, you cannot hang around me and in my environment ecosystem and not elevate. It's impossible. It's impossible. If you hang around people, like, your ceiling is your circle. Right? Yeah. So let's talk about the people that you have in your circle.
That's an interesting question. I guess it depends on which circle. And the whole idea, somebody explained it to me one time, a long time ago, and I don't remember who it was. That friends and colleagues are like books, right? And what if you had, the greatest minds of all time, the Einsteins, the Musks, the Gandhis, like, and all in a big circle. And every time you had a problem, you could go to that person about that thing that they spent their entire life being an expert on, right? And that's kind of what books are. People read a book from cover to cover rather than go to the book that fixes the problem and read the chapter that addresses that one thing. And I kind of look at people that way. My friends and people that I know that are on their third marriage, I'm only listening to certain advice from them, right? And sometimes it's like, hey, how do you not do what you did? Like, what did you screw up? Because you obviously did something wrong, right? And I think so the circles now, my circle, my mastermind, right? Like, some of the people, yourself included, some of the people that I meet there, I admire in different areas. Some of their focus, some of their family, Jimmy, shout out Jimmy Ralph, love Jimmy, and, RJ, and some of these guys are my, like little spirit animals for me, right? Because it's like, oh man, if I could, when I grow up, if I could be like that in this way, and this way, what a win that is. When my kids are in their 20s and 30s and they still come home and they want to go on vacation with mom and dad and they want to be a part of the things, like, that's a win, right? So the people that are living in alignment with who I want to be, where I want to go, what I want to do, like, that's who I see my circle. In business, it's a little different, right? I don't admire the hustlers. I'm a hustler. I get that. I'm not an idiot, but the ones that just, and that was my post today I did on LinkedIn, man. It was like, do all that you have to do and no more, right? Like, there's no pride in the 14, 15-hour days to me. So the people that do put that on a pedestal, I don't resonate with. So I don't know. It's actually, as you can tell from my answer, it's a much more complex question in my mind than that.
Yeah, no, you answered it good though. And for me too, I'm a guy that I'll get more done in 4 hours than most people do when they say they're working 14 hours. Yeah, so you can work your 14 hours. That's fine. I'll kick your ass every day.
Yeah. What do you do best, dude? Like, staying in that zone, right?
Yeah.
The first call I had today was at 10 o'clock this morning. And the guy's like, oh, I mean, what have you been up to today? I was like, actually, I played with my dog. I sat outside. I had a coffee, drove my kids to school, watched How I Met Your Mother, watched a couple episodes, and then got ready for this call. This is the first one of the day. He's like, that sounds like a really relaxed morning. And I said, dude, because it was more important for me to spend time doing nothing for my own psyche than to spend time doing shit I didn't need to be doing.
Yeah.
Right? It's a dynamic way of thinking. When you really start to value the seconds and the minutes and the minutes within the hours.
My first calls don't start till 11:15, and then they end at 4:30. Yeah, I mean, I wake up in the morning and do my thing and get my daughter homeschooled started and work out and read and drink my coffee and take my supplements and peptides and all that stuff. And and I mean, I don't feel guilty at all. I used to be in that mode where I was like, I got to be doing something. If I'm not to where the target is and I'm the goal, I got to be doing something.
Yeah.
And then I was just like, well, these things aren't moving the needle. So what will move the needle is me being the best father, husband, and taking care of myself. And so, I agree,
and that
man.
guilt's real though. And I know people listening to this probably deal with that too. And you got to kick that to the curb, man. Like you should never, like, I'll lay on the couch and my wife, she's getting the kid, she doesn't work a ton. So she's getting the kids ready for bed, whatever. I go in, read them books, tuck them in, the showers and whatever. I lay down and I watch an hour straight of just baseball, right?
Mm-hmm.
I used to feel guilty about that, but I do not feel guilty about that.
No.
I've earned every second inside of every minute inside of this hour, and I'm going to spend it doing what I want to do.
Yeah, I was watching football, and I was talking to a guy today, and I said he's from the Philly area, and I said, "Hey, you Eagles fan?" He said, "Yeah, I am, but I don't watch sports. I don't have the time to do that." And I said, "You can create the time to do that. Like, life is too short. Like, I love watching sports. I get life lessons out of it. I get encouragement and inspired by these things, right? Like, the Ravens lost the other day to the Bills. The Bills came back, like, unbelievable what they did to come back and win that game. Last night, the Vikings look like crap. They come back and win the game. That's inspiring to me. Yeah. And so I get stuff out of that, but I'm creating my life. I'm creating these things. I'm not going to let somebody, I told this guy, and I love the guy. He's awesome. But I told him, I said, I'm not a puppet. I'm the puppet master. You know what I'm saying? So
there's nothing wrong with that statement.
Yeah. So, all right, Kris, as we wind down here, what's the vision here going forward for Dugout Mugs?
Well, Dugout Mugs, I mean, like I said, we've been going for 8 years now. Originally, it was a partner and I, and just under 2 years ago, he was ready to hang up the cleats, and I was like, look, man, I'm having a lot of fun, and he's like, I've done what I came here to do, and that was take an idea. It was his idea. He took the idea from, from a hollowed out chunk of wood into something we did over $50 million in sales in the first, 6.5 years, 6 or 7, I call it 7 years. And he's like, dude, and he was dead ass right. Like, that's a win. Took an idea from a sink to a garage to a shed to a thing to the halls of the Hall of Fame. Right. But for me, being significantly older than he was, almost 10 years, I guess, 9 or 10 years older, I was like, and I got to thinking about it. It's like, I don't think I'm really done here. The people I get to meet and hang out with, bro, like, come on. The people that
Gary Vee's got one. Gary Vee's got one in his office studio.
Dude, for sure. Bradley's got one on his back shelf.
The athletes. I don't have one yet. I got to order one, man. You got to send me that link. You got to send me the link,
I'm going to put your logo on it.
All right. Send me a link. I'll order.
But like back here, Nolan Ryan, Frank, I'm reading backwards. Nolan Ryan, Frank Thomas, Verlander, Rod Carew, Pete Rose, Griffey, Miggy, Poppy, Andre Dawson. Like, dude, come on. Mariano Rivera right there, I think the Yankees. But I mean, this is crazy. Yeah. And I get to work with these. And man, one of my favorite statements is, it's not who you know, it's who knows you. Right? And that's what's important is being memorable, providing value in these people's lives. And I'm not saying do it because there's some ulterior motive and you're going to get something out of a celebrity. Right? Like, a lot of them are really badass people. You can't reach the level that they've reached without being an incredible person in most cases.
It's proximity. There's two things that lead to elevation: assessing your situation as often as possible, and proximity. And the other thing about it is that when people see that proximity, it up-levels your status in their eyes, the perception, right? And the other thing is not looking to get something out of anybody, but just treating them as a person and serving them, looking for ways to serve and build a relationship with them. Yeah, 100%. And I love it. All right, man. Where can people?
Some of what they're doing too, like Big Poppy's doing amazing things, and Mariana's doing amazing things, and dude, like, it's crazy cool. And again, my metrics changed. What I want to do, I want to live an experiential life. I want to play with my friends. I want to have fun. I want my kids to be proud of me, and I don't want to do anything with anybody I don't want to do at a time I don't want to do it. I work from my home. Like, I'm building this thing that's what success looks like for me. And I've said it so many times, but I'll keep saying it. Success is a unique path. It's a unique experience for each person. And I think the more people reflect on like what that looks like, tastes like, smells like, feels like to them, the faster they're going to get there. You know, and I don't think enough people are doing that. But like when I started checking off my unique boxes on what life looks like to me, what I would be happy with, what I would be proud of, this is what it looks like. You know, I don't need tens of millions of dollars in the bank. I'll have it, I think, but I don't need it.
Yeah.
You know, what I need is what I have right now. Success isn't 20 years down the road. Shit, I almost lost my life in my eyes and in my brain and in my soul. I feel that. You never get to where you're going. So enjoy the journey instead, you know, like, and that's kind of how I'm building what I'm building.
Yeah, I love it. Where can people go to get Dugout Mugs, man?
Dugoutmugs.com.
Very simple.
That's the best place to do it. I mean, we're direct to consumer. We're fully customizable. MLB, Sandlot. Like, we got some cool stuff.
Love it.
The corporate gifting side for sure. Like, that's what kind of was crazy. So when we first started, we thought, oh, baseball fans and this and that. Well, dude, we've made mugs for Coors, Miller, Bud, Pepsi, Coke, Hard Rock, Celsius, Fox. Like, dude, they're on the desks. Governors own them. That's me and the governor of Florida back here. You know, he gives them out at his events. Governor DeSantis. Presidents have our mugs. Team owners have our mug. I was watching TV the other day because somebody sent me the clip. Like, I don't watch a lot of TV, by the way, but somebody sent me this clip, and it was on this Netflix show of the collector. It's like Golden Auctions or whatever, the big collector. He's showing off the most expensive baseball card collection like on earth. This one guy has it. It's the 10 mint Mickey Mantle, the 10 mint Willie Mays. Like, I mean, this card collection's worth $50 million probably. And on his back shelf, he's got a Dugout mug sitting there.
Yeah.
And I'm like, so the dude that could afford to collect anything he wants has my mug in his personal office sitting on the shelf.
That's
Bro,
cool.
that's crazy.
Yeah, that's cool.
You know,
man.
it's just crazy to see. And so, yeah, anyway, the corporate gifting side of what we're doing is really fun because we can customize, you know, put your custom logos and all this stuff on it. It's cool for businesses that are looking for something unique.
Love it, man. And anybody having golf events and all that kind of stuff, check it out. Dugoutmugs.com. Kris Dehnert, thank you so much for your time today, brother. I appreciate you and your friendship, man.
Always.
All right, hang tight while I wrap this up, folks. That's That1 Podcast episode with Kris Dehnert. Your boy C-Roc here signing off. Make sure you hit the subscribe or like button at the top of your favorite podcast platform and keep coming back. Until next time, be that one.